Welcome to the Heart of Collaboration right here in the studios of West Kentucky Community and Technical College. We're so happy and grateful that you allowed us to be in your viewing audience, and we don't take that lightly. We really do appreciate it. Right here with the Heart of Collaboration is a colleague and a wonderful, wonderful lady that I've come to know in just a very few months, and that is Chevene Duncan-Herring. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on your show, Dr. Belt.
Ms. Herring is the student success coach for the college. Well, first of all, we want to ask you, what does that mean, student success coach?
First of all, let me tell you this. I never ever dreamed that I would be wearing this title. But as time has presented itself, I feel like I've worn it very well. As a student success coach, let me tell you, I kind of facilitate the students through the process of intake into becoming a master student, I will say. From the beginning, I make sure that the first thing they do is want to go to college. The next thing is completing an application. Of course, there are some pre-testing that they'll need to take, which here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, it is the COMPASS test. And this way, we will know what level classes that they will be testing to be enrolled in. Certainly, they need to fill out their financial aid papers because, of course, that takes funding in order to go to college. And from that point, I kind of sit with them and kind of see what some of their goals are and what some of their targeted ideas are for their future. In other words, career planning. And that is one of the biggest parts that I really enjoy about the students, because at that point, Dr. Belt, they really need to do some self-discovery, figure out where they've been, where they are, and where they want to go.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the COMPASS test. Break that down for us, and I think that sometimes terminology that we use in higher education is intimidating because we don't walk around speaking that way, and certainly our students or potential students don't do so. And so just out of a sense of compassion, I guess, if you could explain that just in case some of our viewers will be hearing about that for the first time.
And you know what? When you just asked that, it was kind of like a rerun, because I've had students ask that. So therefore, when I say the COMPASS test, I also break it down for them at that moment. It is a test that you will go and take for reading, writing, and math. And this way, we can see what your levels are as to whether or not you are ready for college level classes. If not, then you will take developmental classes to prepare you for the college level classes. So I appreciate you asking that, and that is something I'm very sensitive about with the students, because I work with a lot of non-traditional students. When I say that, those are students that have been dislocated off of jobs, first generational. So stepping into an academic arena, going off to college, it is a new horizon for them. So I definitely appreciate the consideration there.
You know, I bet it's frightening as well for, we used to call them reentry students several years ago. I think the first time I attended college pursuing a bachelor's, I was considered the reentry student because and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that it was because I didn't go to college right after high school. So I was re-entering the world of academics. And of course, several years since then, they've changed that. But it was very frightening for me, even though the public school system was a great experience for me, and I had parents who were very encouraging about school, who respected education, and there was no such thing as going to school and not having your homework done and done well. There was no such thing as not studying in advance of a test, and there was no such thing in not respecting authority and taking advantage of all the opportunities in school. But that gap between high school and when I did make that decision to go to college, you know, you develop bad habits. And maybe you left high school with some bad habits, but maybe you didn't think they were bad habits, but they were habits. And so when I re-entered the whole area of academics, it was a very frightening experience for me. I would have loved to have had a Chevene Duncan-Herring when I first went to college. It would have been an experience for me that would have ensured that my grades were better. And unfortunately, you can be a great high school student and not necessarily a great college student academically.
Well, let me share with you, because we do have some commonalities here. I do believe what has prepared me for the career path that I am on as a student success coach is my journey. Graduating from high school, I went to college. Well, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared in high school, and I didn't take college very seriously. And of course, at that point in time, I was 16 years old, so it wasn't my money anyway. So I didn't make the best of it, and I ended up on academic probation. So I share this story, and the academic probation included not completing the task of making the grade in an appropriate amount of time. So as life presented itself, I decided to go back to college in my midlife, let's say. As a student in midlife and married, children, and it was a journey that I was about to embark upon. And when I say that, I was definitely not ready. Didn't really understand about that non-traditional student, I will say. But I tested, and I tested in developmental classes. So here again, as I have traveled this journey, I can relate to the students that I see every day. In taking some of those developmental classes, I had to learn how to write again, read, and I was okay with that. So I share that story with students that I see every day. Also, it gave me an opportunity to understand that if you want something, you have to work for it. You have to set goals, and you definitely have to understand that there are challenges that you are going to encounter. So as a student in my midlife, I must say, I learned that I could help someone else. And because I started on that path and did not complete it coming out of high school, I can relate to the high school student. I can also relate to the non-traditional, the first generational. So that has prepared me for the role that I'm on now. And I share that with students. I have taught for about 4 or 5 years developmental classes, strategies for academic success, foundations of learning. And the first thing I say to my students is, the person standing before you today was molded just for you in mind, because I've been where you are behind that desk, and now I stand before you, and I want to give you and empower you that you can reach any goals that you would like to reach.
Well, you know, our students often say in some fashion or another that it's difficult for them to imagine that their professors and the staff and administrative portion of our college have been through some of the things they've gone through. They can't really imagine that as we stand before them. And every semester, of course you know that I teach on this campus, and gladly so, that with the beginning of each semester I share with my students a couple of things to help them to connect with me on a human level and not on the title and the student level. We all have some type of title, but the title is not designed to define who and what we are, but our character and our integrity and how we treat people and how we treat ourselves and how we regard all the wonderful things that are available all around us if we'll just reach out and just grab what's available to us. And so they really do. I think sometimes some of our students kind of think we're just telling a story as an icebreaker. Mm-hmm. But when our students realize that they can't look at anyone and tell their story, that the same holds true for us, faculty, administrative levels, and what have you, that we all had to go through to get to. And it helps our students to be able to feel a little bit better and less condemned, knowing that we have real live human beings who are behind these titles here at WKCTC.
And what I tell my students also, Dr. Belt, is, first of all, what's important is that self-esteem. And I also put a lot of emphasis on building a relationship with your instructor, because your instructor was not born with all of those extra alphabets after their name. They were on an academic journey also. They've started where you are starting, behind the desk.
That's right.
Also. So I think that kind of puts them at ease a little bit, because they do come into the classroom feeling like you have this wealth of knowledge and they don't have any. So it kind of let them realize that I can do this too. And as a role of a professor or instructor, then you're putting yourself pretty much in a mentoring position.
Exactly.
And so that is very important. But I also stress to my students, communication is very important, because just that level of education creates a barrier that oftentimes the individual that do not have the higher level of education feel a lot of intimidation.
Yes.
As well as oftentimes you have instructors that will intimidate students. I mean, I go there with my students because it is real.
Yes.
And in order for them to be successful, you know, we have to deal with the realities of what they're going to encounter in classrooms. But communication is very important. Also, that they need to understand where they're trying to go, and that there are going to be some obstacles, but also there's a commitment there.
You have a connection under the umbrella of Student Success Coach. You also have a connection with Student Services and multiple programs and services that are offered right here on this campus, as well as I think a couple of other campuses.
Yes.
Could you tell us more about those connections, and then a little bit about what you do with the other campuses?
Okay, thank you. What I do, first of all, it's pretty much what you call intrusive counseling. Through that first initial intake of the student coming in to see me, I ask a lot of different questions to try to see what some of the barriers may be for this student to achieve some of their goals. I need to know if they need some of the services that we offer here for disabilities. Students with disabilities, there are services here for them. Also, I need to know if they need tutoring. And that will also afford me the opportunity to open doors for them to get what they need to be successful. Oftentimes, you know, students still need to work while they're in school, so there is the Career Center that will provide services also for them. So there is a vast amount of services here on this campus. The campus that I work once a week on Mondays, I am at the Skillcraft Training Center, and that is our Hickory campus. And there, at that campus are a lot of the technical courses. Air conditioning, there's the nursing assistants, as well as welding. And speaking of which, when I first started working for the college, I had students in the air conditioning HVAC class, and to familiarize myself with just what some of these students may be challenging after being laid off from jobs or starting college in their midlife, I sat in the class, and I sat there for 3 weeks, and I pretty much took the class just like they did. I didn't know a thing about air conditioning, refrigeration, and it was a very interesting course. I had an opportunity to sit in the lab, as well as going down to the hands-on and the circuit boards, and you know, and I watched these students with the fear of the unknown, and am I going to pass? So just to reassure them that there is support in place for them. they kind of relaxed because they also had to take computer classes. So, you know, if there's some computer tutoring that's available for them. So I'm pretty much like a resource for the students, but I need them to talk to me. So I need to know certain things to ask them to kind of help them open some doors to share with me some of their needs and concerns.
Well, Ms. Herring, how do the students initially get to you? What process do they follow to make their way to you?
Okay. I see students on a couple of different funding programs. So therefore, when they go to the main advising center and it is identified that these are students on some of these financial funding sources,
yes,
then they refer them to me. And that is the initial contact that I have with these students. And from that point on, then I help facilitate them. I also network with the career centers here in Kentucky as well as Tennessee for the students that are coming in here on unemployment. And this way, there's a network there also in the community to make sure that we facilitate the students' academic journey from the beginning to the end, and there are resources available all the way through.
Now, does that include former military?
Yes. Now, we do have a veterans coordinator here on campus. I also have veterans in my programs that I see students for, but if there's anything to do with benefits, then they'll have to see the veterans coordinator. But I do have veterans that are under some of the programs that I work with students under.
Now, under your program, as is true for all instructors, say for instance, you have to write some type of plan for a student. What does writing a plan entail for the students who come or who are sent to you?
Okay. After a student make a decision as to what course or degree program that they're wanting, then we look at that program and all the courses that fall under that program to complete the degree plan, whether it is the associate's or whether it is a diploma or certificate. And then we look at the guidelines for the general educational courses that will be needed to complete that degree. And we kind of outline each semester of the courses that they're going to need. Here again, let's back up to where we talked a few minutes ago about the COMPASS test,
yes,
which is the test that will give their level in regard to developmental courses or whether they would go right into a college level course. All of those courses are also included in that academic plan. And so it's an order in which they can take this first semester, the next semester, and it kind of outlines from the beginning to the end, which is a great, I call it a pathway,
yes,
because it gives them a sense of accomplishment each semester, that they are putting more behind them and the path before them is beginning to get shorter. So therefore, they can see that they're reaching some goals of success.
And so they're not struggling. They don't have to feel like they're in this thing all by themselves.
Absolutely.
They're not struggling. They have a plan. The plan is, and I think you beautifully use the term pathway, because it's almost as if you have street lights on both sides, and they can see where they're going. They can see where they're going. They know exactly what they need to do, when they need to do it. They know they have to do this in order to do that next thing. And it helps to improve their confidence level, because now they don't have to struggle, they don't have to wonder, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They have you, they have other resource persons, and if they don't know where to go, there's always someone who knows where to send the students. And so here at WKCTC, this team of professionals know exactly what to do for every student before, after, and along the way of becoming a part of the student population. Something else you were saying also that developmental courses, that your compass testing determines where a student is developmentally. So it means what level are they in their comprehension of math and of reading, of reading comprehension, of writing, of understanding what you've written. And so developmental courses, do they have a value in terms of semester value, or what is the value of developmental courses versus other courses?
Okay, they're worth credit, 3 credit hours, but they do not actually go toward your degree plan.
Mm-hmm.
But these credits are giving you the credit that you need to be able to take college level classes.
All right, so
Yes.
so there's virtually 2 phases. That is that you need to develop or redevelop, and then you go into the regular college courses that will be applied towards your major.
Yes.
I love the whole concept of student success coach, because I firmly believe that we all need to be coached by someone. Call them coach. I think you said that our teachers are mentors in a large sense. And then you need people who are going to be able to follow us in that journey. And I say us, I may enroll in a class one day and take another class, I don't know. But I say us because we're all a part of the same body. And so how do you follow your students once they have entered this process with you? What's the process that you follow to keep up with them?
Well, the students that I see, they come back to me the next term to enroll for the following term. So therefore, throughout the term, I've kept up with them and made sure that they are passing, because I have a relationship also with their caseworkers at the Career Center. So they have to give their caseworkers oftentimes their grades. So I kind of monitor that also. And I encourage them along the way. Students come to me when they're struggling, and so here again, I have to keep encouraging them. And at the same time, I do share with my students, it's okay if you don't pass this time. It is okay. Failure is not always a bad thing. It gives you an opportunity to take another look at yourself and see where you need to improve. So there is a tracking system that I use to follow my students throughout the next semester and see where they are going, how they are doing, whether or not they dropped a class. You know, so I'm constantly checking on that. I also tell my students, before you decide you want to drop a class in the middle of the semester, come back and see me. You know, let's talk about what's going on. And it may be just something very simple. So therefore, it's just like that extra ticker, you know, for these students that I see. And I let them know that communication is very, very, very important.
So you spend semester after semester standing at the side of all the students who have been referred to you.
Yes.
And semester after semester, you get to remain their mentor. You keep up with them. They know that you care about them. They know that even when they're not looking at you or they don't hear the sound of your voice, that they know that you're thinking about them and that you genuinely care about their success.
Absolutely.
I believe that. And in my time in becoming acquainted with you, I know that for myself. I'm telling y'all, if you have not enrolled at WKCTC, you need to come on. Don't be scared, because we have people who will help you get over your fear of failure, and some people fear success. They
Yes.
fear success because with success comes responsibility and accountability. Don't fear that either. Come and be the man that you know that you want to be. Come and be the woman that you know you want to be. And parents and caregivers, encourage the people to whom you have given some responsibility and that you have told that they can depend upon you. Let them depend upon you to encourage them for higher education. And this is a great place to start. I was telling my students in class today that you don't want to wait until you have a problem to realize you're going in the wrong direction. There is something on the inside of you that says something's not quite right, and I need to identify it, and now I need to make full intention of doing something about it. And so we talk about all the services that are available on this college campus, and you're a person that I always make sure I mention. We've enjoyed you being on the Heart of Collaboration today. Chevene, Duncan-Herring, give us your individual email address here at WKCTC and your direct phone number, please.
Okay. You can reach me on my email. It is Chevene Duncan-Herring. That is Chevene, C-H-E-V-E-N-E dot Duncan, D-U-N-C-A-N hyphen Herring, H-E-R-R-I-N-G at kctcs.edu. My office is located in the Anderson Technical Building, and my direct line is area code 270-534-3209, or you can also reach me on Mondays at the Skill Craft Training Center at the Hickory campus. The number is 270-856-2400.
She sounds like a teacher, doesn't she? You have been a joy. Thank you. And I hope maybe in a few months we'll get you to come back and even though we can't name the students, maybe share some of the success stories that you've experienced in your time here at this college. We look forward to you welcoming us into your homes again here at the Heart of Collaboration, right here at Paducah2.org, right here on this great campus, WKCTC. And I'm your host, Bernice Belt. It is my humble honor to make sure that we have topics and relevant guests and things that are going to increase your life and to make a difference in the lives of other people with whom you are connected, with whom you are acquainted. I hope to see you on the campus here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, and we'll look forward to coming into your homes again real soon.